21 full reps, 7 at the top, 7 at the bottom, 7 full. This is a phenomenal finishing exercise. Hey man, Gary Walker here, and welcome back for another video. All right, now this video is for all you guys wanting to grow your biceps. If you want big biceps at home, this is a simple workout that you can do. Now here's the thing, you do need some dumbbells because I want you to utilize the resistance. To grow bigger muscle, you need to put your muscles under an overload. You want to overload it, put a heavier load on it. Doesn't mean extremely heavy weights. You'll notice what I'm using in the video isn't very heavy at all. It can be a 10-pound weight, a 20-pound weight dumbbells, whatever you have access to. The key when you're doing this is to just focus on the biceps with each repetition. Really focus on stretching the bicep at the bottom every time, every single rep. Really get a full stretch. And while you're going up, control that contraction. You can do that by rotating that pinky as high as you possibly can at the top of the contracted movement. All right, now with that said, we are gonna throw in one exercise here that's not gonna benefit you as far as the rotation goes, but I'll explain that here in a minute. Well, with that being said, let's get into the first exercise. Very first one is pretty basic. It's just a supinated curl. So what is a supinated curl? Basically, if you just put your hands down to your body and your palms are facing into your body, that's just a neutral position. Now, supinated is just rotating your hands out so that your palms are away from your body. That's a supinated hand position. So basically, that's what you want to do with this movement. You want to keep your palms in that supinated position all the way down, all the way up. All right, now with these curls, I want you to shoot for a 12 to 15 rep range. I really want to pump up your biceps with some blood. All right, get some good blood flowing, get a nice big pump, but you also need to make sure though, while you're doing these, that you're controlling the cadence. You don't want to use any momentum. You don't want to cheat at all. So every time you lower the weight, do it under about a 3-second cadence. Really control that lowering phase. A lot of times people don't realize that that's an important part of the movement. They'll drop the weights down and just start lifting again. They'll allow the weights to drop quickly. Well, the lowering phase is called the eccentric phase or a negative phase of that lift. That's when a lot of the muscle building process is actually working. So you can control a lot of weight on the way down. So I really want you to control it under about a 3-second cadence and then explode the weight up with a hard contraction. So again, you're gonna do that, and I promise you 12 to 15 repetitions, your biceps are gonna be on fire. One last thing before we move on to the next exercise. Just remember when you're in that top position, when you're really flexing that bicep, you wanna hold that squeeze for about 2 seconds and flex it as hard as possible, all right? You're trying to show off those guns, flex them really hard. Now the next exercise we're going to do is called a hammer curl. So if you remember what I just explained about the neutral hand position versus the supinated, well, a hammer curl is just keeping your hands in the neutral position. So your palms are gonna be facing your body. Now, what this exercise does, you're actually rotating your arm. So when you rotate your arm with your neutral hand position, you're gonna be working your brachialis and your brachioradialis. So you're gonna be working the extra muscles. One is the forearm muscle down here, and then also the bicep muscle that brings the width to that bicep. So a lot of times people work on the short head, just the inside, but when you work this outer head here by doing the hammer work, your biceps actually gonna get wider from the front view, which is key for that 3D look when you're trying to create those awesome arms. All right, so when you're doing the hammer curls, pretty much focus on doing the same tips I just shared with you on the supinated when it comes to the cadence. So really control the weight on the way down. And when you're coming up, I want you to squeeze your biceps as hard as you can. Now, one other key point I want to focus on though, you'll notice when I'm doing these arm exercises, my elbows are basically pinned to my sides. That's what you need to focus on. You don't want to bring your elbows forward. If you bring your elbows forward, you're going to be shortening the range of motion. You're going to start getting that shoulder involved as well. You want to make sure that these elbows are pinned to the side of your body And just imagine you have a rod going from elbow to elbow right through the center of your body, and your elbows can't go forward or backward. They're just pinned there. Just leave your arms in that position. You're only moving at the elbow. You're flexing at the elbow and you're extending at the elbow. So you're gonna do that. And with the hammer curls, let's shoot for a little bit heavier weight here if you have it. If you have a little bit heavier weight, then I want you to do 8 to 10 reps with this exercise. So we went higher with the first, a little bit heavier and lower reps with the second. And that's gonna take us to the third exercise, which is a phenomenal exercise, but it's gonna burn a little bit, meaning your biceps are gonna have a little bit of that lactic acid buildup, which is gonna burn a little bit, especially if you're doing these correctly. Now, the key to doing this next exercise though, is I want you to keep your hands in a close grip position. So going back to the first exercise, we did that fully supinated position, which is exactly where you wanna be. Now, we're also going to supinate this exercise, but once your hands are straight out in front of you, then I want you to bring the dumbbells into the midline of the body. Now, if you haven't done 21s before, basically 21 is just 21 repetitions, but you're doing 3 mini sets in between one set. Now, I know that sounds confusing. Basically, all you want to do, we're gonna start at the bottom, we're gonna bring the dumbbells in, then I want you to come all the way up to the top. Once you have the dumbbells up at the top, squeeze your biceps. So you're gonna be squeezing as hard as you can, but on the lowering phase, you only wanna lower halfway. You're not doing a full range of motion rep. You're gonna lower halfway and then squeeze them all the way back to the top again. Those are the top half reps. You're going to do 7 of those. So again, after you're at the top, squeeze for about 2 seconds, lower halfway, and then bring them back to the top. Squeeze as hard as you can for 2 seconds. So you're gonna do 7 reps in that top position. After you've done your 7th, then you wanna lower all the way down to the bottom, get a full contraction in your triceps. Really focus on contracting your triceps at the bottom. That's gonna allow you to get a really full stretch in your biceps. Now, from that bottom position, then I want you to bring the dumbbells up to the middle of your body. I don't want you to go all the way back up to the top. You're only gonna go up to the 90-degree mark, squeeze as hard as you can for 2 seconds, lower all the way back down, and then right back up to that 90-degree bend of the elbow. That's what you're doing for the next 7 reps. So we had 7 at the top, 7 at the bottom, and you probably know what's coming next. The last 7 reps are full range of motion reps. All the way to the bottom, all the way to the top. All the way to the bottom, all the way to the top. 2-second holds with every single contraction, squeezing as hard as you can. All right, so that's 21 full reps, 7 at the top, 7 at the bottom, 7 full. This is a phenomenal finishing exercise. So again, you've already done the supinated curls, you've done the hammer curls, so you probably have a little bit of lactic acid buildup as it is. The weights are gonna be a lot lighter on this last exercise. Don't think you have to go really heavy here. That's not the goal here. The goal is just finishing off those biceps, get a lot of blood flowing in them, that big pump. That's gonna make a massive difference in your overall arm growth. All right, so that's it for the bicep workout. I hope you like it. Let me know in the comment section after you do this what you think of it. I'd love to hear the kind of pump you got, or if you have any thoughts about the workout at all. Other than that, man, thanks so much for watching my video. And as always, get busy, get after it, and God bless.